many ecom brands use suboptimal ways of testing Facebook ads. No wonder, there's a lot of talk how you need to test your creatives. It can be different depending on our needs, budget, and what we want to achieve, but I found the optimal way. So here's the exact process I use to test creatives on accounts spending both $500 a day and $50K a day. All of my testing is done with my best performing audience. In most cases, it's broad audience. In maybe 1 out of 10 ad accounts, that's an interest tag. And then I do all of the tests with that audience. I always, and I mean always, exclude existing buyers because my goal is to reach new customers. So I exclude both purchase pixel 108-day audience as well as the sync list of buyers from Klaviyo. It's like double the protection. Obviously, since iOS update, Facebook is not great at not serving the ads exclusively to new customers, but this is your best bet. In terms of ABO and CBO, I'm doing all of my tests in an ABO campaign, where each new test is a new ad set. I want each of my tests to get a fair chance of getting spent. If I test in a CBO, Facebook would probably favor 1 or 2 concepts and ignore other 10. But my goal is not to be the winning ad, and not to get only one winning ad. My goal is to get few additional supporting winners, which are still above my target loss, and they can still act as a support to the few main winners, and that would probably take the spend on the main ad fatigues. In terms of the ad set setup, my tests are usually grouped either per angle, let's say anti-aging or anti-acne, or per concept, let's say product demonstration video or unboxing video, or per creator, let's say girl A, girl B, and each test is in its own ad set. So here's a graphic explanation of how it looks like. So we have a testing ABO campaign. Each new test is grouped either by one of those similarity, by angle, by concept, or by creator. So let's say if I have an anti-acne angle from a girl, I will test 4 different variations of that video in the same test. Let's say if it's a different concept, again, multiple variation. So you can see here in the ad account that I have one testing campaign with the multiple ad sets, new ad set, each new ad set is a new test, and then in that ad set I have multiple variations. You can see that in this case, Facebook picked this variation and spent the most on that variation, which I actually scaled in that my testing campaign. The difference between these variations is just a different hook. As you can see, I'm never testing just one variation of the concept, because in my opinion that's a hit or miss approach. That way you're forced in Facebook to spend money on that variation, no matter the performance, which makes no sense to me at all. In terms of the ad setup, every testing ad set of mine has 3 to 5 different creative variations of the same concept. When it's a video, that variation is mostly hook, but sometimes it is a length of a video or a thumbnail. When I'm testing images, it's either a different layout, different design, different color, or a different text on the image itself. Having multiple variations is actually maximizing my chances of finding a winning creative, because I'm giving a Facebook a choice to pick which out of these variations could be the best. Facebook is usually pretty good at predicting which ad can be the winner and which ad can handle the scale. I say usually because sometimes you will see Facebook spending money on a specific variation that's not getting the results. In those rare cases, I turn off the ad that's getting most of the spend and I let other ads get some spend. In most cases, the ads that would get additional spend after you turned off the winner would not outperform that one that was getting spend. Some other important things to mention when it comes to my way of testing. All of the ads use the same ad copy, same headline, same landing page, and same call to action button. Basically, the only variation is the creative itself. The reason for that is that if I'm testing multiple variations at the same time, let's say different headlines, different ad copies, different creatives, I would not know why that ad worked or not. So in my testing campaign, I always want to have that isolation effect. In terms of priority, I'm always testing the creative, which is like image or video first, because Facebook told us that creative has a 56% impact on the performance of the ad. So it makes more sense for me to focus on that. In terms of timing, I'm launching all of our tests on the same day of the week for most of the ad accounts. In most cases, it's Wednesday, just because we usually found that Monday and Tuesday are the worst performing days for most of the brands, so it makes no sense to have that disadvantage when launching tests. I want our ads to get the most chance of succeeding. So when I test them, I run them through the weekend, which is usually the best performing period for most of the e-com brands. Then on Monday, I do analysis of all the tests, determine the winners, and determine the next steps, whether some ads need iteration, whether I move some ads to my scaling campaign, or whether I kill some of the ads, or at least some variation from that test. You should know all that is not all there is to the process. This is just the tip of the iceberg. If you're interested in a video in which I'm explaining how I'm coming up with tests, or how I'm analyzing the results, or how I'm actually scaling the winners, let me know in the comments below. If you don't want to wait and instead want me to implement a testing strategy in your ad account right away, below. We work with brands spending at least $50K per month. If you're not there yet, just subscribe to the channel so as not to miss my free content. In the meantime, check this video on 10 most common mistakes e-com brands are doing with their Facebook ads. Thanks for watching and see you on another side.